best right now. Still haven't got my headset from the old house. But I got a topic today, and it's something that's been on my mind for a minute. And I'm starting to run to the conclusion of new players. Okay, and the question is, Neverwinter, should we stop? What I mean by that is, should we stop pushing new players through content as far as dungeons? I feel like, to be honest, it's gonna be short and quick video. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. I feel like we should all stop helping new players get through dungeons that's not trying to learn the mechanics. Like, all they want to do is go through the dungeon, right? Not be able to pull their own weight whatsoever or learn the mechanics. So I have seen this numerous times. I will put in chat, hey, any new players? I will put in chat, hey, are you good? And stuff like that. And you will never get a response until you get to that boss fight. And then boom, you end up wiping, or you end up using a shit ton of resources that you didn't have to use if this thus player, new player, or new, aka, would say that, hey, you know, I can use some help with the mechanics. Boom, and then an experienced player can explain the mechanics to them. Now, explaining the mechanics and them still not doing it, at that point, I feel like we really need to stop pushing all new players through content versus dungeons, trials, and shit like that if they are not willing to learn. If they're not willing to use their chat, whether they can speak English or not, if they're not willing to speak up or say anything, I feel like we should truly stop pushing them through dungeons because it's only hurting them more. They're never going to learn how to beat that dungeon. They're never going to learn the mechanics because as long as people like me and other people push them through dungeons, which officially today I am not pushing any more new players through dungeons unless they're willing to speak up and know the mechanics. If they're not willing to speak up, if I got to sit and get kicked from, if I got to get kicked from a dungeon in order for these people to learn, I'll get kicked. You know what I mean? Or I would just start running dungeons with people I know. I will continue to do random queues, but like I said, I will continue to get kicked because I know I'm no longer going to be carrying any new players through any dungeons. You know what I mean? And I feel like as experienced players, we should stop doing that because it's not making the dungeon experience any better. Because for one, Cryptic is not helping these guys learn the dungeons. Only people that are doing it is other players. If that, if anything, you got strong OP players like myself, Chaos, Zen, Sweet, the whole guild, running these new players, you know, randoms through dungeons, and they're not fucking learning the mechanics. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, tell me, right or wrong, man, should we just altogether stop running new players through fucking dungeons if they're not willing to learn the fucking mechanics? They won't even take the time to learn their tune. No matter what advice you give them, they don't use it. It's numerous of times I see fucking rogues running crazy shit, can't put out any type of damage, and me and Elmo have ran dungeons with, you know, same type of tunes that these people may have and put out crazy damage. And it's all because, yeah, we YouTube, we researched, and these players are not researching, they're not learning, they're in guilds that's not teaching them. There's tons of videos out there talking about guilds that's awesome, that was willing to help these new players, but they're choosing not to do any of that. So why should we continue to push them through dungeons? It's so frustrating. It eats up a shit ton of time when you're in a dungeon. You know what I mean? It's not too many dungeons you can go to where everybody know the mechanics. They don't even gotta be high item level, but at least they know the mechanics. Experience outweigh item level every fucking time. Every time experience is gonna win. So why is it that fucking the 6 years I've been playing, majority of the new player base don't know shit. They don't know their tune. They don't know the dungeons. They would not say shit in voice chat. They would not say shit in group chat. They, you know, it's like, at what point are we going to continue to do that? Yeah, we can say that. All right, cool. We'll only run with guildies or friends that we know of. No, I'm going beyond that. And Elmo, you can vouch for what I'm about to say. I will literally get into a dungeon and I will speak up. And when I see that you are a new player and you're not willing to say anything, I will not run that dungeon. You would have to kick me, and that's going to eat up a shit ton of time. Is at a point that these new players is going to have to learn, bro. You know what I mean? As experienced players, no, we can't teach them everything, but at some point, These new players got to learn, bro. It's sad. The game been out too long. Mod 20 been out for a while. These new players should know fucking something. It's like they just get in and they button mash. You know what I mean? I used to be a button masher, give it, but I was willing to learn. The fact that these new players are not willing to learn, it's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous, hands down, man. Hands down, it's ridiculous. Now, for one, I'm one of the people that would love to help new players, but I help new players that acknowledge that they need help. You know what I mean? I don't even got to ask them if they're a new player. Majority of them will ask for help. Those are the new players I help, I look out for. But the other new players, I do give a shot. I will say, hey, are you new? If I'm in a dungeon, plenty of my friends know, I will say, hey, is there any new players, or do you know what you're doing? All right, tank, do you know what to do? Yeah, I've been tanking since tanking. I've been healing since healing. Like, bro, like, come on, like this is the shit that's making it worse and harder to run dungeons. You can't run Tiamat, even though you got the mechanics online through Vern, through Galactic Child Molester. All those guys got videos up on how the mechanics work. So there's no excuse of getting into Tiamat and not knowing the mechanics. No excuse. There's no excuses. On any of the dungeons, almost all of the dungeons are online to know the mechanics and how to run it. Why is it that damn near a 50-50 chance when you get in a dungeon, these guys do not know the mechanics. They do not know their own fucking tune. That's the first thing that tell me that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then the point of view, even if you send them a PM and be like, hey, are you cool? You need any tips? They straight, the answer you're gonna get, if they're a tank, they're gonna be, I've been tanking since tanking. If they're a DPS, I've been DPSing since DPS. That's the dumb shit that you get. So I feel like my stand on this shit now is I will not be running dungeons. If I get into a random queue, basically, and I see there's new players, I will continue to put, is there any new players in the chat? And if I see that you are a new player or unexperienced player and you don't know the mechanics, I will abandon instant. Not like I'm gonna back out, you're gonna have to kick me. And people can say what the fuck they got to say about Rocket Man. At the end of the day, enough is enough, man. This game has been out too fucking long. For the majority of the dungeons we get into, people don't know the mechanics. I can understand, and if you knew you just got the game, you just hit item level, you just hit level 20, you got your item level 25K. To be honest, I feel like it should be more work involved on getting those item levels, man. Experience is, like I say, experience outweighs item level every time. We all know, Zen know, Eclipse know, Elmo know, Ken know, a lot of players know this already. It doesn't matter with your item level. Where it do matter to get your item level up, but experience will beat item level every time. I smack the shit out of people that's 70 and 80K item level. Experience you cannot buy. Experience is shit you got to go through. So my take is, like I said, like the video say, Neverwinter, should we stop? Should we stop pushing new players through shit they don't know? They don't even know they tune. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, but I feel like if it's 4 experienced players in a dungeon and it's one noob and everybody is talking to this noob and this noob is not responding and it's constantly dying and going through shit, I propose to everybody that watch my video to kick the new player and continue to do it and tell them why they're about to get kicked. Tell them, look, you need to take the time, learn your tune, learn the mechanics. You're not listening. We're going to kick you right now. And then kick them out of the dungeon. I feel like that should be the new trend for new players. Fuck that. Cryptid not going to help them. The best thing we can do to help them is kick them from the queue. So if you get, like I said, if you got experienced players and you got a random and you're talking to the random is not responding, the random is constantly dying, the random don't know the mechanics, take long for instance. He cannot kill his mimics. He's in everybody's corner. He's not trying to listen to anybody. Explain to him that he needs to learn the mechanics. You're trying to teach him the mechanics, and he needs to go on YouTube, and he needs to learn about his tune. And then tell him right then and there, all right, you about to get kicked, bro. And continue to do that with new players. Even if you got players that's item level 80K that don't know what the fuck they doing. Do the same shit. That should be the new trend to help these new players learn, because they're going to get tired if they keep running into experienced players and experienced players are kicking their ass. You know what I mean? They're not kicking them just to kick them because they knew, but they're kicking them because they would not listen. You engage with that new player. Hey, you good? You know what you're doing? And then you get into the fight, you see they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then you try to explain to them again, hey, look, bud, we're really trying to help you learn the mechanics. We're not going to push you through this dungeon. That's what we have to stop doing. That's what I mean by should we stop. Stop pushing these non-experienced players through dungeons if they're not willing to learn the mechanics. Because if a player is willing to learn the mechanics and then you get through the dungeon, that player will teach other players. So now we got, instead of 3 players teaching, now we got 4. Then we got 5. And then next thing you know, we got the whole Neverwinter community that know how to do majority of the dungeons, instead of just you and a handful of people knowing how to run some of this content. And like I said, it ain't a bad thing. People might look at it as, oh my God, you want to kick new players from queues. No, I'm not saying kicking new players from queues. I'm saying players that don't want to listen and learn should be kicked from queues. Because the only thing they're doing is learning nothing. And then that same new player is going to be in a group with all new players, and they're not going to be able to complete the shit. But if you take the time out and learn the content, then you can teach other new players that you meet and see what we have to go through. But other than that, that's your boy Rocket Man. I'm going to open up the comments. Tell me what y'all think, man. Should we start to kick new players out of dungeons that's not willing to learn the mechanics? That's what I mean. Should we kick new players out of dungeons if they're not willing to learn the mechanics? If they know the mechanics, you have nothing to say to them. They're doing awesome. But if they don't know the mechanics, it's easy to spot them out. All right, and that's my thing, and I'm sticking to it. This is what I'm gonna do. I did it today. We was running, I think it was Ravenloft. I told them the mechanics. At first, I said 3 times, is there any new players? Is there any new players? Yeah, it was 3 new players. All right, the healer was new, the 2 DPSs was new. All right, and I was a tank. So we get all the way to the first boss, and I noticed automatically they was new because they trying to kill the boss, so you got to kill the minion first to hit him with the fireball so he can take damage. So I automatically knew they was new. So we get to the second boss fight. I say again, I asked, was anybody new players? I'm trying to explain the mechanics. If you're not a new player, cool. So nobody said nothing again. So we get to the second boss. He do the eye. He jump in the air. He's knocking them all off the cliff. And it's like, all right, we died. I said, look, I'm not going to push you through this dungeon. It's obvious that you don't know the dungeon. It's obvious that you are new players. And I'm trying to explain mechanics to you, and you're not willing to listen or learn. So no, I'm not going to run the boss with you again. So they get mad. They're like, can you just please run it? So I tell them the mechanics, right? I tell them all the mechanics on this boss we're about to fight. As soon as we get in, what the fuck do these new players do? Come on, don't say it too fast. What the fuck did the new players do as soon as we got back in, after me explaining the mechanics to them and what to do? Do you know what the fuck they did? The same shit they did the first time when we failed. Did not fucking listen. So at that point, you know what they said? They all voted to abandon. This is the normal shit that happened when you got new players that's hard-headed as fuck. And then these hard-headed motherfuckers, we need to spot them and kick them the fuck out the dungeons. You need to learn the dungeon and then kick them. If they're not willing to listen, they want to be pig-headed, kick them from the fucking dungeon. That's my new thing, and I'm going to end this video on that, man. I'll probably drop another video later, but at the end of the day, tell me, open up the comments, tell me what y'all think, man. Is kicking new players out of the dungeons that don't want to listen and learn the mechanics, should that be the new thing? Should that be hashtag kick new players that don't want to learn? Kick them, because we're trying to teach them. They don't want to learn. So let a whole bunch of those hardheads be in a dungeon. They would never complete it. But as long as players like us, me, myself, Elmo, and a couple other players, keep carrying these new players through dungeons, this shit gonna continue to happen. They're never gonna learn shit. Y'all know who they are. Y'all all had them in your dungeons. And it's not only frustrating, it's fucking super time consuming. It uses up a shit ton of your resources. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna life scroll when I know this guy don't know the mechanics. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna retry. We're gonna kick this son bitch out since they don't wanna listen. Take it however you want to take it. But tell me your thoughts, man. That's gonna do it for your boy Rocket Man. This shit is 9 a.m. where I'm at. This shit not gonna be back up until 11, 12. So I'm about to play some. I'm about to play some Call of Duty. Hopefully Elmo up so I can run some Call of Duty with Elmo. We got 3 back-to-back dubs, and he got a clutch that was priceless. Pretty soon I'm gonna be putting a nice collage of videos together with me winning Call of Duty dubs and a couple other people I've been with, including Elmo, the 3 most recent dubs, as well as I'm gonna be putting a lot of sus videos on as well with Call of Duty, so you can see some of these player names that I play against that's doing some of this sus shit, so maybe I can block them if you see them and tell me your thoughts on it. But other than that, man, I should have a nice video coming up soon. And one more thing, if you're new to my channel and you really want to see who Rocketman360 is, if you click on my page, it would be the very first video that's highlighted that should have like 300 and something views. And you can see me getting 2 dubs in Warzone on my PC. So if you want to see about Rocketman, you can check me out on my page as well. Other than that, man, I appreciate it. Tell me what y'all think, man. I feel like we should all just start kicking new players that don't want to learn. Not just kick new players, but kick players that don't want to learn. You gotta understand the difference, because I have helped the player doing LOM for the first time in years. He beat it, and I taught him the mechanics, and he was the tank. Now that person carry on to teach other people. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to promote. Teach each one, teach one. If you're willing to learn, we will teach you. I know majority of the community will teach new players how to do dungeons and shit like that. But we know the ones that I'm talking about, that when you say, hey, any new players, they won't say shit. Right? They won't even cut on their mic check. You can explain shit to them, they still won't do it. Those are the people I'm talking about. As soon as you notice them, you say it one time, and then you explain to them, we're about to kick you. We're not going to push you through this dungeon. You got to learn it. And they kick them the fuck out. Because eventually that's what we need to do, because they're not going to learn. Eventually, if he get kicked out of enough people is doing this type of method, if they get kicked out enough, you know what they're going to say? Shit, I can't run a dungeon. Well, I got to learn it. You know what I mean? That's the objective of what I'm trying to achieve, because Cryptic ain't going to do shit and ain't going to teach them what they bullshit tutorials. But other than that, man, I'll catch y'all later. I should be on, might do some streaming. I really don't know. I'm in the process of doing hardcore boss. I got all the dragon pieces I wanted. That's about it, man. I think I'll jump on Call of Duty for a bit. I appreciate everybody for coming to check out the video. If you're new, please hit that thumbs up, sub. Pretty soon here, once I get settled into my new crib, I should be trying to do a giveaway. What I really want to do is I want to build a PC and give it away to one of the subscribers, man. And somebody that doesn't have a PC, somebody that's not going to take it and resell it. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, shout out to all the guild members, man. Best guild in the world. Yo, Zen, Swede, P-Town, West Side, let's go, baby. Shout out to the whole guild team, baby. You know what I mean? Awesome guild. I love them. Full of energy. You guaranteed to have fun. You guaranteed to get good laughs, man. Oh, man. Yo, Papa, what you doing, man? Hey, yo, Zen. Have my babies in. But anyway, I catch y'all on the next one, man. Thanks. Peace.